Well, we've asked since day one to be at the table, so this technically is day one for us. It is a very difficult issue. We've lived it now for the past year. The minister, I believe, is at the table doing what's in the best interest of Northern Ontario, and it's up to us as Northern leaders to articulate what those challenges are and to protect our citizens, protect the men and women that work there, also to look after business and industry to make sure that economic development isn't stunted in northeastern Ontario.
Well, can you do that, though? We know what you want to do ideally, but can you do that? Are you making any headway?
I will say, Greg, that any time that there's a dialogue, there's a potential for solutions, and that's why I'm at the table. I'm there because I believe in my community, I believe in my city, I believe in Northern Ontario, and for me just to say, well, I don't like what I heard, I'm not going to stick around. That's not right. Obviously, it's difficult, as I said, and we're going to continue those negotiations and those conversations with the minister. Do we like everything that we heard at the table? Absolutely not. But that's all part of negotiations and communications, is how do we articulate our position as best we can.
What criteria do you want to see, Al, moving forward with proposals? What criteria do you want to see in the proposals moving forward in this divestment?
I've said right from day one, we convened a meeting with the union within 15 minutes of the announcement by the then minister. My goal is to protect the jobs and to make sure that economic development continues to happen in northeastern Ontario, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
It has to be disheartening, though, to hear that the brakes won't be put on in the divestment at this point, even though you are in negotiations with them, and that there's potential that it's still going to be all sold off and we'll see nothing saved.
Yes, Kate, it is very difficult to hear that there won't be a pause, but the government has made it very clear right from day one that they were going to divest the ONTC. So we're at the table trying to articulate our position as best we can. And listen, the minister did come to North Bay. He did say that he was going to meet with us and bring us to the table. Day one, I think we have to continue the conversations moving forward, and that's what we're going to do. I have full confidence in the colleagues that are sitting around the table that we can articulate what that is. And whatever the criteria might be, I mean, obviously it has to make sense for the government, it has to make sense for Northern Ontario, it has to make sense for the city of North Bay. So I am not giving up. I'm going to continue the fight to protect the jobs and economic development in the Northeast. And I'm not discouraged, although I will say, although it was a very positive meeting, it's going to be very, very difficult moving forward.
So nothing's changed, basically. We're still at status quo in regards to divesting.
Absolutely. The government has made it very clear that they will want to divest the ONTC.
So what can you do then? What's the point of all of this?
Greg, as I said earlier, I think communications finds the solutions that we need, and obviously they haven't sold it yet. So we're going to continue to have those negotiations with the minister.
Of what's left, what can you say to the minister? I mean, is there opportunity to say to the minister, we want to see this stay? Can we work to develop this and make sure that it stays?
Well, the minister was very clear that he valued our input and wanted us to be at the table, and he wanted to hear what our opinions were. So I take his word for it that he really wants to hear what we want to do and what is best for Northern Ontario. And this meeting, you can imagine, was 3 hours long, and there were so many aspects to it, and it's a very complicated subject that we just stayed at a high level for the first 3 hours.